Tansen bhai, will you
Thank you
give
all.
a sorry.
Sure, please.
No, I just want to ask that if you are going to give a introduction, and then I will go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you all. And I'd like to welcome you all in this webinar. I'm Musharraf Tansen. I'm working as the in-country representative for Malala Fund in Bangladesh. And I was also the country focal point for INEE, Interagency Network for Education in Emergencies in Bangladesh for the first cohort, like 2021. Welcome again, and 8th March is celebrated or observed as the International Women's Day globally. And in commemoration of that day, we are going to hold this webinar in the banner of INEE. So the title of today's webinar is Creating Girls' Access to Education During Emergencies. And all three presentations will be centering on Bangladesh. Particularly, Bangladesh is hosting around 1 million Rohingya community people fled from Myanmar, and ensuring the education for the children of Rohingya community is a great challenge for Bangladesh. And also we have a presentation from the emergency situation regarding the natural hazards like drought, flooding, river erosion. You will find one presentation regarding the natural disaster related emergencies, and the other two presentations are concentrated on the protracted crisis like Rohingya community facing in the southeastern part of Bangladesh. Particularly, if we think about the education in emergencies refers to a broad range of educational activities, formal and non-formal, which are life-saving and life-sustaining as well. Therefore, critical for children, youth, and their families in the time of crisis. So crisis situation includes natural disasters such as earthquake, flood, tsunami, and as well as man-made conflicts. So emergency education programs are designed according to the particular context of the environment, and maybe short-term, maybe temporary solutions, and can be the long-term planning or designing to address the protracted crisis. If we think about crises have serious and different impacts on the lives of women, girls, boys, and men. So educational needs change, and the ability of the girls and boys to attend the school also changes. So male and female teachers have their different experiences and priorities that need to be addressed, and boys benefit the equally to the emergencies, and it's critical for the social and gender dynamics to be addressed in any sort of education in emergencies response. So all those things, we have to design our educational programs during emergencies, and we will see 3 presentations today, which will be focusing on the girls' needs, particularly girls' needs and their addressing their needs, and how we can provide them with a quality education. That will be focus in our all 3 presentations. So let's see. I'd like to request Sadia Karim from Ituku Bangladesh. Sadia Karim is the gender focal point of Ituku Bangladesh. I'd like to request Sadia for presenting the first presentation. Sadia, over to you.
Thank you, Tansen bhai. Could you please share the screen of my presentation? Hello, Tansen bhai.
Sadia, can you see?
No, not yet started. I think we need a bit of time. Anybody? Okay.
Yeah, Tansen.
Yeah, Anika informed that she can see.
Okay, I'm seeing. This is the first slide, right?
Yeah, I think you need to just press play.
Just
and
press. Yeah, please move on. Move on the
next
step.
slide. Yeah.
Actually, the third one.
Yeah.
Isn't it moving?
No.
No, it's not.
Actually, I'm seeing the first one. Yes.
Yeah, it's the next.
The next one, please.
Can you see this one?
Yes, thank you.
But
Okay.
it's not in presentation mode.
Yes,
No.
Tansen bhai, could you please start the presentation mode?
Okay, I can stop now, then I can start again.
Maybe try clicking on slideshow. I don't know if you click on that at the top where it says slideshow at the menu, on the menu at the top. Yeah. And you can, yeah, there from currents. Yeah, that's fine.
Now it's working?
Not yet, no. Did you try from current slide?
Sure.
Let's see if, yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see, but yeah, it's still on that. I mean, I can do the screen sharing, but yeah, I won't manage to look at the chat. Maybe if Tansen, then if it's okay for you to just, if you find any questions, just take note
Sure.
of those. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just, okay, I'll do it then.
Dear participants, we are sorry for this technical acts.
Just okay.
Sorry, you can see the full screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next slide. Great. You can go ahead now. Thanks.
Thank you. Natalia, right?
Yeah, Natalie.
Can you please press? Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm Sadia Karim. I'm working as a project coordinator, adolescents and youth, and gender mainstreaming at Ituku. I'm also the responsible person of Gender Focal. I sincerely appreciate your presence today. Thank you so much. Before going to focus on the main topic, I would like to introduce Educo briefly. Educo actually is a global development humanitarian NGO based in Barcelona, Spain. Our experience is over 30 years, and we are working now in 14 different countries over the world. Um, we aim to empower children to express their views, ideas, and opinions, and to exercise their leadership. Our mission is to work with children and their communities to promote a just and equitable society that guarantee their rights and well-being. Natalia, can you move on the next slide? Please just click on the global slide. Yeah, thank you. And our vision is we envision a world where all children fully enjoy their rights and lead a life of dignity. We have four principles: non-discrimination, participation, transparency, and dynamic spirit. And our core values are social commitment, as well as we follow equity and respect. Our program priority are education, protection, and empowerment. However, all these three areas, humanitarian crisis and natural disasters, are the cross-cutting issues of all these main three particular areas. We have seen about global Ituku. Now let's take a look at Bangladesh. Can you please move on the next slide? Yes, thank you. Ituku Bangladesh. Since 1999, Ituku is working in Bangladesh. We have been implementing education and development program in Bangladesh in the most marginalized rural and urban areas. And with time, we have expanded our works to broader geographical areas. Currently, we are working 10 districts with 15 partners. Our program, we actually, as I have mentioned, that we have three program areas. On the basis of that, we have three programs specially focus on safe and equitable quality education for children and adolescents of Bangladesh. And the second one is related with protection, so protection of children from violence and exploitation. And another one is linked with empowerment. This one is children, adolescents, and youth will be empowered for social transformation. So we have, as I mentioned, that we have worked with 15 projects with 15 partners in Dhaka. We are working with Nari Moitri and Poppy in Maimansingh, our partner Sachitun. We are working with them in Rajshahi. eco-social development organization in Thakurgaon. We also work with Nozrul Sriti সংসদ in Borguna district, and these are our core partners like SDS, Prochesta, MCDA, Jagorani Chakra Foundation, Samaj Kalyan o Unnayan Songstha, and Friends in Village Development in Bangladesh. We are working these three partners in Coxs Bazar. If we move on the next slide, we can see the Cox's Bazar context. In Cox's Bazar, we are working in this particular area from 2018. Right now, we are implementing 4 projects in Cox's Bazar. 2 projects are focused on gender-based violence and protection, and another one is focused on DRR and protection. And also, Ituku is implementing another 2 projects which are focused on provision of education in emergency. As we know that protection is a cross-cutting issue because if children are not feel safe, they could not access in education. So that's why protection, all these 4 projects, protection is inbuilt. The goal is to improve the access to quality education while fostering well-being of children and adolescents in Rohingya and crisis-affected host community in Cox's Bazar. So our main objectives are to enhance the access to quality education in a safe and secure environment for children and adolescents, and also ensuring gender positive equal quality education for children and adolescents uh, who are facing life-threatening risks like abuse, neglect, exploitation, gender-based violence, and severe distress. The main outcomes, we think that we will put out children, adolescents, and girls from Rohingya and host communities have access to gender responsive learning opportunities in an enabling protective environment. And another one is uh, children and adolescent girls and boys in Rohingya and host communities receive continuous and quality educations that meet their educational needs in emergency situation. We also think that we will get Rohingya children and adolescents have access to equitable community-based child protection and learning facilities through these projects. If we see the key intervention of these areas, as we know that uh, after more than 4 years, Rohingya refugee crisis remains a protection and solutions crisis. And who arrived in 2017 are living in extremely congested camp conditions, and they do not have refugee status in Bangladesh, right? So all those things aggravate the educational situation very much. So, and also most households reported that having faced challenges in supporting their children studying at home, and they have very limited opportunity to do this. And also even under we know that even under normal circumstances, access to education for Rohingya children was constrained. And since the pandemic has started, this situation is even more dangerous, right? Children have faced many additional challenges regarding distance learning and home schooling. On the other hand, they actually the disrupted daily routines and limited access to temporary learning centers also lead to concerns about children's well-being and their rights. So we have uh, some key interventions in these particular settings. We are facilitating immediate access to equitable gender responsive learning opportunities in a protective environment for the crisis affected Rohingya children and adolescents. Within we focus on to provide safe and inclusive learning spaces, including wash facilities. Also, we know that they need age appropriate and context appropriate education and play materials. So we try to align with education sector standards as well. We also devise alternative approach in the context of the current COVID-19 restrictions, and in a way to uh, accelerate higher attendance rates. Additionally, we ensure that quality education has been adequately delivered by testing for the grade level competencies of children. Um, so we try to assess their learning annual status education reports level, so that we can know where the children is right now. We also provide home-based education options, and also providing vulnerable girls who face cultural and protection barriers in attending the learning centers. Besides, teacher learning is also a major focus of our activities, so that they can sustain the delivery of quality education and lessons. The training of adolescents also get vocational skills so that they may achieve better social cohesion, as well as are able to access future opportunities and livelihoods. Therefore, they can increase their resilience towards future protections and risk, and lessening the likelihood of adopting negative coping mechanisms. And also, we know that technology is a very important factor right now in education and all other sectors. So technology based education and digital learning solutions we are providing as an alternative education delivery mechanisms to make up for the gaps in education due to the impacts of COVID-19. As I have mentioned that protection, all layer we try to ensure protection. So to ensuring this, children and adolescents have access to improved child protection services in the camps and the adjacent host communities. Multi-purpose learning centers will functions as child-friendly spaces where they can access life skill training, participate in activities with others that build their resilience, and also receive gender-sensitive mental health and psychosocial support. Also, we are in some cases we are providing case management and referral pathway assistance, awareness sessions on child protection, gender-based violence, and needs-based literacy and numeracy training are giving when home visitations program, as well as strengthening community-based, or we can say community-led child protection system is the key approach to these actions. That includes mobilizing caregivers, child protection actors, and all these particular stakeholders to know how we can protect the children in within a system. When building knowledge, changing attitudes and behaviors, we know that is very important. This project focus on prevention and the protection from physical and sexual violence, as well as related major child protection risks. So particularly these are our main activities. And also children with disability received assistive devices. Um, this is our main activity. I have actually thank you all of you for your interest and attention today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Satya, for your program presentation. Dear all, now we will go for another situation from Coxs Bazar to the northern river and island areas. And we will come back again in the Rohingya context with our third presentation. Now I'd like to request Ishrat Karim Eve for presenting her program works, like Amal Foundation's program works in Bogora district in the riverine island areas. Let's go with Ishrat Karim Eve.
Thank you so much, Tansen Bhai. It's an honor to be here. Hello, everyone. I'm Ishrat. I'm the founder of Amal Foundation, and we have been working in the Chor areas, which is also the riverine areas. As you all know, Bangladesh is a very riverine country. So Chors are the river islands. And mostly we're working in the northern of Bangladesh, where all of our projects are related. And today I'll walk through our work, journeys, and stories. Can I go to the next slide, please? So basically, we focus on 4 areas in these riverine areas: education, empowerment, emergency crisis, and help. And this is how we've been working. May I have the next slide, please? This is what we have been done so far. We have more than 30 plus projects. We have worked with more than 360,000 beneficiaries in the emergency crisis areas. And we have touched with created impact and touched working with so many women beneficiaries across the Char areas. May I have the next slide, please? So how are we working in these areas, and why there's this river island areas, Chor areas are being called as emergencies? Like, how come they fall in emergency crisis? Let me explain that a bit. So basically, these river island areas, these islands are situated in the middle of rivers, and they are prone to environment change. They are prone to river erosion. Flood is a regular scenario of these areas. Every year for 4 months, these areas stays underwater because of heavy flood. And we have been speaking about the humanitarian crisis refugees, Rohingya refugees. These Char areas people are basically the climate refugees. They get affected the most in Bangladesh for the change in the climate. They have to shift their homes every now and then, mostly once in every 2 years because of river erosion, and they have been losing their home, their lands. And the interesting and sad part is these areas basically are so remote. When we started working, we had to go by boat, then we had to take horse cart. And when we reached to these areas, we found out like most of the communities have no school, no sanitary toilet, and top of all, no electricity. And these are not small communities, like 6,000, 70,000, 20,000 people are living over there, and majority is children. Can I have the next slide, please? So this is where we have been working. As you can see in the map of Bangladesh, it's in the northern part. Can I have the next slide, please? So how we are working in the Chor areas. Basically, as I mentioned, in the Chor areas, we have established schools. These schools are, as we started, these were like a primary learning center, and eventually we have established these schools. These schools are the very first schools in this community. And I still remember, like when we started the school, most of the children, what they do, basically they go in the land for farming with their parents, they go for fishing for livelihood. They sell things in the local market, and that's how they have been earning money. So it was really hard for us when we wanted to bring them back to the school, mostly girls, because the girl child are very involved and invested in their homes for household chores, and they are not interested because they think like, we're going to marry off our daughters at the age of 14, 15. Why do we need to send them to the schools? So when we started working, we did a lot of community engagement, we did a lot of focus group discussions, and tried to make them understand that how and why it's important to send your child to the school. And that's how we started. It's been 7 years and we have more than 300 students, mostly women. And the most interesting part is some of them are doing so well. They have now shifted to the another high school in the near village, and they have dreams, like they want to be something in life, like they want to be doctors, engineers, and whatnot. May I have the next slide, please? So apart from the education projects, our school, we are also trying to build the technological knowledge in them, like trying to have them, give them computer literacy and soft skill training. Most of these trainers are based in the capital, Dhaka, but we are running this training through internet, through video calling, and trying to make them adaptive with the modern education and the way of learning, so they could learn it, practice it, and grow. May I have the second slide, please? And while we started working, because when we started working the char areas, the river island areas, one of our biggest findings, we are doing this baseline surveys and field studies. One of our biggest findings were that these girls were getting married at the age of maximum 13 to 14. And what happens that most of them are being the victims of dowry, being the victims of domestic violence, and some of them are ending up being divorced and being socially stigmatized in the community, neither accepted by their family nor by the society, because they're in-laws, and they're like a good number of women in that community. So we decided to rehabilitate them and empower them financially, and from there we started our empowerment project. In these empowerment centers, it's like a one-stop center. In the morning time, in the center, it's been used as the school for the children, and in the afternoon time, all these women came. We have set up sewing machines there. We have bring out good trainers from the cities, so they are learning making dresses. They are doing block prints. They are making quilts, and we are also replacing the product in the market. We're giving them market placement. So whatever they're making, the money they're making is going back to them. It's kind of like one of our social business model, and it's going very well for the last 5 years. Can I have the next slide, please? So as I was talking, that the rate of domestic violence and dowry, even child marriage is very high in these areas, in these river island areas. And from the very beginning, we are very clear, very precise to put our message in the communities that, look, we can't, you just can't objectify women. You just can't make your baby daughters marry at the age of 12 and 13 and think that they're just some sort of burden and liability you should get rid of. So this mindset needed to be changed, and for keeping that in mind, we started a movement in those communities, which is called Rukhe Darao, Lorbe Nari Gorbe Desh, which means like you have to build resilience, you have to develop the inner strength to fight against violence. And we did it in 2 steps. Like first, we trained and counseled all the women in these communities, and then we give them training on self-defense. We gave mental health counseling. We also brought doctors for gynecological counseling. We give legal advices and make them understand about the rights. and it went really well. 750 young women joined, and uh, it was a big hit in those village and communities. We were able to make community leaders, young girls who were like 15, 16 from their community. They came up, they become the leaders, and now they're taking the legacy in their community. Thank you. May I have the second slide, please? Next slide, please. So these are also some part of our work, like we work on menstrual hygiene awareness and mental health care, because often mental health is being ignored in this kind of places and it's not been well accepted and understood. So we also try to build understanding in these communities, and we have done more than 50 sessions, and around 300 plus women have joined, and they have understood, and they just want to grow themselves. May I have the next slide, please? So these are the work we have been done in the river island areas of Bangladesh. And we are expanding. We have started with one river island. Now we are working more than 7 river islands of different rivers of Bangladesh. Our goal is to make these communities sustainable. Development is being ensured, and also especially the girl child in this community needed to be appreciated, needed to have a proper life, proper education and healthcare, and we are ensuring that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ishrat, for making us walk through the river and island areas and the crisis of the girls' education and how you are addressing the needs of girls' education in the river and island areas. Thank you again. Now we will go for another presentation, which is based in the Rohingya context in Coxs Bazar. Before that, I'd like to inform our panelists that there is a question posed by Anika Tanjim in the question answer section. You can have a look at that comment or question. Now we can go with Ishrat Jahan Shumi for our presentation. Shumi, over to you.
Thank you, Tansen bhai. Thank you so much. And also thanks our other two panelists for their very informative presentation. That's also new for me. So I will start now. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah,
Yes,
I can hear you.
Hello.
we can hear you.
Yes. So there is some technical issue from my end. So that's why I'm checking. You hopefully you all know that about Plan International. So I will not go for our organizational introduction. I will share some of our initiatives that we are actually taking for girls to access their education, especially in Rohingya context and also for Coxs Bazar host community context. So I will share the geographical area. As you can see that we work Coxs Bazar district, including both host and camps. And I also here at Dhaka slum area. As you know, the pandemic is itself a crisis. So we also have some initiatives there for girls. And our age group is from 3 to 24 years old. Thank you. For the next slide, Natalie, please. Yeah, so first, if I may share some challenge that we are facing to ensure access girls' education, that one is for qualified female teacher. This is mainly for the Rohingya context, and less opportunity for vocational learning for the girls. Multilingual approach of teaching, as we all know that in Rohingya context, they use Rohingya dialect as their speaking language, and also there is their Burmese language and also English language. So there is multilingual approach, and this is also a challenge for the girls to continue their education. And also we found out that most of the girls share that they are facing a hard time for their study because of the pressure of household chores. So most of the time they had to do their household work, and they could not went to the learning facilities for their education. And also the community people, they are not very willing to send their girls, especially adolescent girls, to the learning center, especially if it is far from their household. So these are mainly challenges based on the Rohingya camps. And what are the opportunity we are creating for those girls to access in education? That is, we are providing them home-based or community-based learning facilities, which are actually near their home, so that they can come easily to the learning facilities, and they can get their education. We are also trying group learning approach within the community, like 3 or 4 learners will be learning together, supported by the facilitators. And also we are trying to ensure that the learning facilities for the females have a female teacher, as it is also a demand from the community, so we are trying to ensure that. Yeah, next slide, Natalie, please. Yeah, and also we are providing cash support for the host community girls to continue their education. And also, as one of the most important things, that the MHM support in learning facilities for learners and also for the teachers. And we are also we have a provision, we call it a female monitor, who are actually supporting girls to come to the learning center and also send back to their home. This is a support we are providing for the adolescent girls. And also we are providing adolescent girls sexual reproductive health and mental well-being sessions, which is a very important thing for the camp context and also for host community context. Next slide, Natalie. Yeah, and one of the main thing is that the community and parental engagement for ensuring girls' participation in education. So we are also doing it in a regular basis, which also helps us a lot to bring more girls in education. And one thing for the COVID pandemic, we actually used in Dhaka, that is called Big Brother, Big Sister support. And this is also a community approach where the bigger adolescent in the community support the learners to continue their education. So these were the some initiative we actually take to ensure or to bring girls into education. And if we can say that what is the impact of our initiatives, so we can say that for the Dhaka slum area, the dropout rate actually was only 6%, when the whole country the education dropout rate was 40%. And also through our initiative, which was actually for adolescent girls and boys. So there are 504 females who graduated from planned learning facilities in different Rohingya camps. So there are also some statement or a success story of some girls who actually graduate from our center and now work as a female monitor to our plans Myanmar curriculum rollout program. And also some girls who are actually now working as a peer leader, so they are taught their other co-learners. And there are also many stories of those girls actually who change their life through this education access. Next slide, Natalie. There is another, we call it an influential initiative, which will basically create more access for girls. Can go next slide, Natalie. That we called service capacity development for Rohingya female. As I already mentioned earlier, that one of the main challenges is to ensure qualified female teacher for girls. So we take this initiative to create a female teacher pool for camps so that they can support girls for education. So this is we start this from this year, and it's a pilot basis program. We will initially we target 100 female in 5 camps, and it will be for 8 months course duration. We will support them in distance and in person. So this teacher will be trained on pedagogical side, and also we will support them to improve their subject knowledge on different subject which actually taught in Myanmar. And also we will provide them training on sexual reproductive health and mental well-being for adolescents. So this is one of our very ambitious piloting project. Yeah, and I would like to share some of the resources we have for Coxs Bazar in the crisis context. And that one is the gender and crisis sensitive education guidebook, which can be used for designing gender sensitive education programs or schools or any project. And also we have a guidance and tools for adolescent programming and girls enrollment in crisis setting. We have gender responsive and inclusive pedagogy training for host community teachers, and also for the crisis context, which is available in INEE website. Yeah, these are some of the resources we are currently using for this crisis context. Yeah, that's all from my side. This is a statement from our Rohingya learners that how they feel about education. So she said that my parents take me safely to learning centers and I can count, play with friends and to make everyone proud. So that's all from my side. Hope like it. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ishrat Jahan Shumi, for your comprehensive presentation. Though we have started our webinar a bit late, we would like to have some questions for our presentations from the participants. Dear participants, if you have any question, you can write it in the chat box or in the question answer section. I already have seen a question posed by Anika Tanjim, and our panelist Ishrat Karim Eve already has answered it. So if there is any other questions, please feel free to post on the chat box or the question answer section. If you have any questions to any of our panelists, please feel free to ask. If there is no question, then I'd like to go to Ruhul Quddus, Senior Program Manager of Friendship Bangladesh, to give his vote of thanks. Ruhul bhai, you are muted.
Ruhul bhai.
Yes. I think it works now. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Musharraf, Tansen bhai. Great to say a few words here. Dear participants, thank you all those who attended in the webinar on creating girls' access to education during emergency in Bangladesh. We were thrilled by the attendance from different agencies we had. Would like to also thank you all, and especially our sincere thanks goes to the presenter, Ms. Sadia Karim from Ituku Bangladesh, Ms. Ishtad Karim Eve from Amal Foundation, Ms. Ishtad Jahan Shumi from Plan International. We all are grateful to Natalie, the host, Mr. Musharraf Tansen, the co-host, and Brocky, captioner of the webinar. Thank you again for your attendance in kind. We look forward to bringing you even more presentations in future. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Ruhul Quddus. And with this vote of thanks, I'd like to mention that we already have hold a few webinars under the banner of INEE, and we are hoping to conduct some more webinars in this year. We have conducted webinars in the last year, and we are also planning to host some of the relevant webinars on education in emergencies in this year as well. So we will be hoping your participation, your active participation in the upcoming days as well. So with thanking you all, I'd like to conclude this webinar of today in the commemoration of the International Women's Day. Thank you all.
Thank you, Tansen Bhai, and
Thank
all
you,
of the
Natalie.
participants.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye everyone.
Bye.